All right, John. So I want to. We had a great time last week with Leonard, but
That was fun,
I
wasn't it?
did get it was a lot of fun, but I did get a couple of questions and
Oh,
concern, about the one statement I made about the Debbie Does Dallas thing. No, we did
yes.
not use the music in the
Right.
piece, and yes, we let her in on the joke. So
So
that
you're
said,
covered.
I'm covered. It was yes, but I just wanted to clear that up because we rarely get questions from anybody, and that just happened to be one of those questions that we got.
Well, and
I
if
don't
you
think
if
there was no maliciousness in the questions being
oh, heck
asked,
no.
but
No, nor in the story, frankly. I thought it was just
right,
really funny and certainly contextual to what we were talking about. And if you have no idea what we're discussing, you need to listen to last week's
absolutely.
Potty
Head up
Mouths
to
episode.
wah.poddymouths.com.
Well done.
Very nice. Very well done yourself. So
Well, thank you, sir.
so
So yes, we said, oh gosh, I can't think of the comedian. I'm going to have to think about it, but it was you and I were talking about. So actually, listeners and viewers, you should know that Nick and I sometimes talk before we actually start recording Potty Mouths, which I know some
I
of you.
they'd be very surprised. We never talk about what we're going to talk about on Potty Mouths, but we do talk
No,
before the
it's
show.
other things. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
other
problem
things.
when we're friends aside from Potty Mouths.
Right.
If we were just Potty Mouths friends, it would be so much easier.
You mean potty friends?
Just kidding, potty friends. Yeah, so we're talking about beforehand about, oh, the thing we were talking about is difficult. I said nothing's easy, and then I said except us.
Yeah.
Nick and I both admitted, and I thought of the comedian who said, "Do you know women always know when we're going to get laid?"
That's very insightful,
That
John.
is so true.
That is so true. So
That just
true.
popped into my head.
Oh,
All right,
something that
your turn.
completely off topic that I've noticed, and this is, it is winter right now, still technically. Spring is just around the corner, unfortunately. But we have talked about it before because of where you live, but I noticed it even today. You're wearing short sleeves. I saw you get up, you're wearing shorts and flip-flops, and I'm sitting here in a flannel and jeans and warm boots. So if that tells you anything, and I'm not even in the north. What's the weather like down there, John?
Well, let's just do a really
In
quick
your
recap
What's the
for
weather like in your neck of the woods?
in my neck of the woods, and that
Are we
was
gonna get
wasn't that Willard
copyrighted?
Scott who used to say that?
No, that's crap.
Al
You wouldn't
Roker?
have asked me. No.
Al Roker.
Al Roker. Yeah. Did you say Al Roker? And I
Yeah,
said no. I
I did.
apologize. Yes, Al
Mhm.
Roker.
It's terrible right now. It's 82 and partly cloudy.
Ugh, so hot and humid. Ugh.
I know it's
It's
disgusting. As we were sitting out in the lanai today, Lisa and I were
in the
talking about that. Gosh,
lanai.
it's
Sounds like
really
me talking
that's how
about my
you have to say it.
Mercedes.
It does sound like that. In fact, I think there's a law down here that you cannot own a Mercedes unless you have a lanai.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So right now
kind of a
it's
weird law.
34 degrees and overcast here.
Oh,
But I was
ooh,
still
that
sitting on
is a
my
flannel shirt.
porch, my screen-in porch.
Yes, you were sitting on your porch, of course. I will tell you. Well, you like cold weather, so it's fine for you. It doesn't. It's not like it's that big a deal. But
Right.
I've liked it less as we've discussed over the years, and it is really quite nice to be able to. We talked the other day. Hey, you know what we should do on Thursday? We should go to the beach. We're probably going to go to the beach on Thursday, and
Nice.
we'll go early because I don't want to get overheated.
Right, right. So, if I'm being honest about the whole thing, me liking the cold and stuff like
Yes,
that, I know I say that and people are like,
yes.
you know what it really is? I don't like wearing short sleeves and shorts. I just
Thongs?
don't. Yeah, and it floss and it don't anything like that. I like wearing my long sleeve shirts. I like wearing jeans. I like just
Mhm.
being comfortable, and I don't like to sweat. So
I don't
really,
either. Yeah, I get you.
if it's 70 degrees versus 30 degrees, I don't really care as long as I get to wear comfortable clothes and I don't sweat.
I will
That's
tell
it.
you that you, I think, could become very comfortable wearing shorts and T-shirts
I
and
just don't
flip-flops.
I don't like it has nothing to do with the temperature stuff,
Mhm,
'cause I wear shorts all the time in the summer. I'm perfectly comfortable in shorts. I just don't like my legs touching anything but my pants. I know that sounds really weird,
mhm.
but I don't I sit at a bar, I don't like my legs feeling the top of the bar chair or anything. I don't even like it in my own car. I don't like my legs touching my seat. It
Maybe
just
you should wear longer shorts. Are
I
those the
just don't feel comfortable if I
do
don't
you
have
wear
any support in that area.
the Bobby Riggs tennis shorts? Is that what you wear? Because those are
Yeah,
really short
exactly. Yeah,
shorts. Yeah.
and it's usually it's a lime green with a neon green, trim around the edge of the shorts.
That's I mean,
Absolutely.
really sounds
Yeah,
attractive.
yep.
I'm if I were gay, which
Yeah,
I'm not,
exactly.
that would really attract me.
But John, there are more to your legs than just your thighs. I'm talking about even the back of my, calves. I don't like, because I don't like my legs touching each other. If that's weird for you, I don't. And again,
Is this why you were never on the
it's not
track
the
team?
skin thing. Exactly. No, it's not because of the skin thing. I don't mind touching my skin. It's because when my skin touches my skin for a long period of time, it sweats. And what did I just get done saying? I don't like to sweat.
Why don't you just carry some liquid nitrogen around so you could just spray it on your legs if you start getting
Or I
close
could
to
just live
sweating?
somewhere where it's cold.
You could do that too. I think that's fine. I don't like to shiver.
See, I don't mind shivering because that means that I can go in. I love heat. Don't get me wrong. I love hot showers.
Yes.
I actually stand in front of the space heater in the bathroom. I have one under my desk right now. I love my space heaters. People walk up into my office and they say, "It's hot." Yeah, because it's cold outside, and if I go downstairs, I get cold, I can come up and I can warm up. That's the whole point of it. It's not
Don't sh
I don't like it always being hot. It's kind of like light. I have the same argument in the house about light. I hate
Okay.
overhead lights. We have can
I do
lights in the
too.
kitchen, and if
I
they're
agree.
on, it just drives me nuts. I like
That I
pools of
get.
light. It's the same thing with
Yes.
heat. I like
That I
pools of
agree.
heat. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Okay, that's interesting.
that's my yeah.
Don't you ever get out of a hot shower though, and you're warm, so you sweat the moment you get out of the shower?
Only in the summer when it's hot outside.
Got it. Okay. You should go to
I
Key West
Yeah,
because
no. I
damn.
do wanna go to Key West. I do.
Oh
I've
my
always wanted to
gosh.
go there, and I wanna actually drive a Jeep from Miami to Key West and
Oh,
back. I think that would be a phenomenal road trip, but I'm not gonna
that
enjoy
can
the heat
be
necessarily,
it's either a phenomenal road trip or it's a
or
terrible
absolute hell.
exercise in bad traffic. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It took us 5 hours from the Miami airport to get to Key West when we went with Michael,
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, it was by the time we got there, I'm just like, "Ugh, it's ter" and it was stiflingly hot because I think I've told you this before, I am so cheap, I had to get the best deal on the hotel room, which happened to be in August, you guessed it.
Sure. Yep.
And yeah, so that was where we shower and, "Oh, man, this is great, wonderful air conditioning in the hotel room." Open the door, need another shower
Yeah.
instantly, and
I don't
that's,
like
yeah,
that.
how hot
Don't
it
like
was.
that. I'm very much a
Yeah,
Southwest type of person. I like California, I like Arizona, I like New
yep,
Mexico, the desert
yep,
heat I can deal with. I
yep, me
just
too.
not humid heat, nope,
Yeah, and so
takes it to
okay,
another
so
level.
one last thing on this
Yeah,
because I'm with you on that, and for years, our plan was to move to Arizona rather than
right.
Florida,
Which it surprised me when you moved to
and
Florida. Well, it didn't because your son's there, but it did surprise me that
because our
because
yeah,
you always were going to Arizona.
for sure, and so the thing first, we're enjoying the beaches, which
Mhm.
is has been great. We found good beaches that aren't overly packed, and we'll see with spring break coming how that turns out, but,
Oh, wow.
for now, we're liking the beaches. The other thing is I've been up to Wisconsin a couple of times this winter. Instantly, everything dries out
Yeah.
when I get there. I mean, gosh, I don't ever remember needing to have chapstick before, and instantly when we land in Wisconsin, holy crap, get the chapstick out and lotion everywhere, and I'm just because you dry out
Yeah.
And, I'm at night in bed, I'm glug, 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 because you dry out in the winter, and the same
Yes.
was true in Arizona, and, I'm appreciating not having that here. It's
Yeah.
kind of now, again, we'll talk in July and August and
Sure.
September and October,
Yeah.
but I know it's gonna be sweaty, and I know it's gonna be humid. You just shower
Yeah. If
multiple times a day,
you
but you
you ever
can
ask me to
because
come
you
visit,
don't
just
dry
don't
out.
do it in the summer.
I know.
Just
Well, that's when our rates are the lowest, Nick.
right. I'll use my Marriott points. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
perfect.
Um, yeah, yeah, I can relate because while it's still dry and colder here, I still live in the South, so there's
It's
still a level of
manageable.
humidity. So
Yep.
when I fly to Denver or something like that, I have the same thing. It's like, oh, where's my chapstick? Oh, my
Yeah.
hands are, cracking and dry. Better get the lotion.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said it, and so I have to bring it up. I'm sorry. You know how we
Hmm.
roll on this podcast.
Hmm.
Um, Marriott points.
Yeah.
I have spent a whole bunch of them lately,
Yeah.
and mainly because I did some one I told you about. We're coming to Nashville for a conference in September, and
Right.
we're at that awesome. What's the hotel that we love?
Opryland.
The Opryland, but what's the brand? I know it's a Marriott, but
Oh, I don't know it's Gaylord Spring, or
Gaylord,
it's
that's
yeah,
it, thank
Gaylord.
you.
Mhm.
That's exactly what it is, and anyway, so it was not inexpensive
No.
in
Mm-mm.
Marriott points. I think we're
Right.
doing 3 nights or 4 nights, and then we're going to Key West in a couple of weeks, taking the ferry from if you look at the map of Florida, where we are, near well, it's close to um, Fort Myers is like a straight shot south to Key West. The only way to
Hmm.
get there, though, is if you're driving, is to go way to
All the
the
way
east of
across, yeah.
Miami, exactly, Alligator Alley, and then back around, because the Keys, in their defense, starts on the east side of the
Right.
Panhandle.
Right.
However, I'm looking at there's gotta be a ferry, we did a little research, and it's not crazy expensive, it's ironically about as much as it costs to cross Lake Michigan on the ferry in
Really?
Wisconsin to Michigan, yeah.
Interesting.
I thought that was too. So anyway, long story short, we're taking the ferry across and or down to Key West, using my Marriott points for a hotel for one night.
Mhm.
Stupid expensive because
Really?
it's high season there. Excuse me. And so I've spent uh, hundreds of thousands of Marriott points so
Yeah.
far, and I
Well, and
still
right
have some
now
to go. Yeah.
yeah, that's good that you have some to go because right now we spent a bunch for Disney,
Oh,
because
right,
that's we
right.
stayed at a Marriott property
Yep.
and I mean, I had a lot and I've had them for multiple years and never been able to spend a ton of points, and
Yep.
that's even on staying places on vacation. But Disney did such a great job of wiping me out. Like I'm down to 10,000 points.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like,
Holy
yeah,
cats.
and it's hard to build them back up because took me years to get that many.
Yeah.
And then there was a point where, I just couldn't use them all and just keep using them. And it was great to have them.
Yep.
But yeah, Disney was, whoo, that was a whole different story. I
Yeah.
was feeding the mouse with my points.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I was not shocked. I was expecting it, but I'm a
Sure.
little bit taken aback by the fact that I can't build up the points as fast as I'd like to. And that's
Well,
partially due
yeah,
because of the environment right now either, because Marriott's
exactly.
not giving you as many points as they once were, or giving you a lot of opportunity to get more points.
Not only that, but they are charging you more
Yeah.
for stays, and so their level
Yes.
stays are we Lisa and I, for our 25th anniversary, went to Maui,
Mhm.
and all on Marriott. I mean, the whole hotel stay was on Marriott points, 8 nights and they double upgraded us. We had an ocean suite,
Nice.
and it was yeah, 280,000 points.
See, Disney was more.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I'm
Yeah.
spending almost that much for 2 hotel rooms for 1 night in Key West, if you can imagine
Wow.
that. I
That's
know, and I'm like,
crazy.
so they've jacked up the cost of the rooms
Yeah.
and so whatever.
It's
Yeah.
almost, and I'm stressing the almost.
Yep.
It's almost making me consider looking at other brands.
Well, so I've always been Marriott and Hilton,
Yeah.
and between those 2, it's you can go to, 98% of the cities you and I typically
Right.
travel to.
Right.
So they have, hotels, Hampton Inns and things like that
Yep.
for Hilton. I've been doing sorry, Marriott, even though I'm at their highest level, I think, lifetime
Mhm.
titanium at Marriott, which seems like I should have a false appendage, but no. It's it's I have not been staying there because I don't get upgraded and I'm supposed to. Every time
Mhm.
I go, I'm supposed to be considered for an upgrade, and I don't. And because, as you said, the points balances are just I don't know. So I'm kind of back to Hilton, and it's been okay. I'm still
Yeah.
just silver with them, but I used to be diamond with Hilton, and it would be kind of nice to get
Get
back up
back
to
up
that
to that level. Yeah.
level again.
No,
So
I
anyway,
feel you. And I love, don't get me wrong, I love Marriott. I love the fact that Marriott ties in with United. United is the airline that I prefer.
yep,
And it just makes things a lot easier because you can not only pay for your hotel, you can also pay for flights using the points from your Marriott stays, which obviously right now for me is very hard because I don't have enough. But
right, right,
I mean, I have 30,000, 40,000 points in my United app, so I could slide that over, but
sure,
I still wouldn't even have one night in Marriott for that.
yes,
So
exactly.
it's just crazy. The points are so expensive, and I don't know. It's just getting harder to use that because that was quite honestly a very big benefit to our
Perk,
job.
yeah, for
It was a big
sure.
perk. And
Yep,
right now it's just not worth it anymore because
yeah.
I'm not saying it's not worth it. It's just not adding up to being a tremendous perk at this point. And that's kind of
And to
sad.
your point, we just don't travel. We don't travel as much as
No,
we
we don't
used
travel
to. I
near.
mean, our
It's
company,
not
our
necessarily their fault solely.
no,
We
no.
don't
I mean, the dynamic has changed. Our companies
yeah.
these days are not requiring face to face stuff. And
Right.
even though with
Nor
your
should
job
they.
you do some of
I
that,
I
no, I
do.
think it's smart. I think it's fiscally responsible to
Absolutely.
minimize that.
Absolutely. I think
However,
though, I
the
think
virtual stuff
companies
should not exist in a vacuum.
agreed. I 100% agree. And I think
Yeah,
from a hotel, an airline, and whatever standpoint that we look at, I think those companies are also hurting themselves by saying, "Oh, people aren't traveling as much. We won't give them as much." I think they should do
yeah.
the reverse and say, "Okay, people aren't traveling as much, so they need to get more because
Yeah.
points don't hurt them."
That's a really smart customer experience mindset, and I'll just to, jump on board that just real quickly, we and then we can move on, but this to me, you're right, hotels, all of them, that I've stayed at, they now don't do if you have a multi-night stay, they don't do, maid service
Right.
in
Right.
between.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking, all right, COVID, yes, they want to be care. They're still not doing it.
Right.
And, employees still might be wearing masks. In the middle of the COVID stuff, this was probably a year and a half ago. I told you Lisa and I stayed at the Ritz Carlton in
Hmm.
Sarasota, and we absolutely loved it. It was just amazing. And guess what? They cleaned the room every day in the
Yeah.
midst of all that stuff.
Yep.
And so there's some clarity that comes to light. The top line hotels can afford to do it. Are the others doing it because of the COVID, or are they doing it just to save money?
They're doing it to save money at this point because
Now they are. I would agree.
is COVID still out there? Yes. Is it still something to be concerned
Sure,
about? Yes.
sure.
There's no argument there. But everyone else has learned to live with it and
Mm,
learned how to cope with it, except for certain businesses. Now, the argument could be said, which I've heard this, and I'm not denying it. The argument could be said they can't find people to do the job, and that's also why they're not. But again, just like
yeah,
my
I'm
argument with
not
everything
sure.
is that's not what I'm seeing.
Mm,
I hear it,
yeah, I'm
I
not.
understand it, but I'm not seeing it.
I'm not certain um, that there has ever been a real. Think about who the maids usually are in hotels that we
Mhm.
stay in, and and I don't think it's because you have people who are saying, "Oh, I'm holding out for a better gig someplace else," or uh, maybe
Right.
there could be an argument for the COVID. In fact, I saw an article on that today. The COVID uh, uh, unemployment scam quote
Yeah,
unquote, because some people have been taking advantage of it. And they're estimating that 20% of the $850 billion apparently was gotten illegally. So I'm like, what?
isn't that crazy?
It's just
Absolutely
ridiculous.
crazy.
So anyway, yeah, the COVID stuff. Look, I'm not judging any of it. I have a really dear friend who is, praise God, coming out on the good side of it right now. And
That's great.
but it's not been good for him. He's been a month anyway, where he was touch and go, and so wow,
Yeah.
it's a scary thing for a lot of people. The vast majority these days, though, happily with the Omicron,
Mhm.
are seem to be dealing with it
Excuse me.
pretty well these days. So yeah.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
and
that's all
again,
good. I Yep.
that's an interesting because you and I have talked about cancel culture and how people talk and why we get along so well because we balance, we like to listen to other
Mhm,
people and stuff like that. And that's the
mhm.
thing I want to make very clear when we talk about stuff like that. In no way, shape, or form, whether it's the podcast or in my personal conversations with people, no way am I downplaying any of it. I
No,
believe in it. I believe it's there. I know it's tragic,
sure.
but we can't, to your point, just a little bit different take on it. We can't live in a bubble. We have to figure
Yeah.
out, we have adapted throughout the ages. We've grown into the way our bodies are now. We used to be much shorter, for example, back in the 17 and
Mm.
1800s, people were shorter on
Yep.
average than we are now.
Mhm,
We change,
mhm.
we evolve. With everything that's happening, we need to learn to change and evolve and live with it. Does that mean people are
Mhm.
still going to get sick? Absolutely. People are going to die? Absolutely. I'm not denying that.
Sure.
And I'm not saying we shouldn't do everything we can to minimize that, but we can't just live in
Yeah,
our houses and do absolutely nothing for the rest of our lives.
for sure. As a cancer survivor, at least to this point,
Right.
um, I will tell you that I want to do everything we possibly can to live healthier lives and care for people who are ill. But the truth is, we're all dying. We all
Yes.
have a death sentence.
Yes.
Nobody gets out alive,
Nope.
and so I I'm not doing any advertisements, but I will say that you have to come to grips with that. However, you do it. Some people do it through their faith. Some people do it
Hmm.
through their living for their grandkids, and some people, whatever it is for you. Find out what it is. You have to learn to deal with it because as soon as you wake up one day and you're not well and you're dying, if that's it for you and you haven't
That's
planned
it.
for it, you're going to be in
Yep.
trouble.
Yep.
So something needs to carry you beyond that. And so that would
Yeah.
be
And do you want to
my
have any
recommendation.
regrets either when that happens? I
That's
don't.
it.
I will
No.
be perfectly honest, and I say this all the time. People think some people. I don't understand why people think I'm crazy for it, but
Oh,
as 43 years
oh, for
old,
that.
well, yeah, at 43 years old, I am scared shitless of death. I'll be the first to admit it. And a lot of
Yep,
people are like, "Why are you scared of death? It happens to everyone." I know it happens to everyone. I know what's going to happen to me, but it still scares me shitless.
sure, sure.
And but that doesn't make me stay at home. I'm not going to sit in my house and do absolutely nothing just waiting for it. No,
It's
I'm still going to go. I know it's going to happen. So I'm still going to
sure,
go out and live my life. I'm
sure.
still going to do the things that I want to do. I'm going to take risks. Someone who's afraid of death
Mm,
still wants to go get his pilot's license. I mean,
mhm.
come on. What a painful way to die.
Well,
Nose down in an airplane.
at least it's
Hopefully it's
quick.
quick. Hopefully, who really
Yeah.
knows? That's what I listen to those stories about, "Oh, and they died instantly." How do you
Yeah.
know? How do you really know they died instantly? Were you looking at the stopwatch going, "Man, they hit the pavement, bam, they were dead." How
Well
do you know?
because if their head flies off, that's one way you can tell.
Well, but now there's science to show that your head still lives for a few seconds afterwards.
Well,
Can
maybe
you
those but
imagine?
if your head's off, you're not gonna feel the pain of your broken limbs at least.
That's maybe. You don't know. You don't know. Have you strapped something to someone's
It's
brain and then removed it?
it's phantom
Speaking
pain.
of, it is
Phantom
phantom
pain.
pain.
Yes.
Speaking of, so I was watching
Yes.
a thing on YouTube. Go figure, me watching YouTube, and
Weird.
it was I don't remember exactly if it was a conspiracy theorist or something like that, but it was whatever happened to the doctor who was going to perform the first ever head transplant. And I guess this guy
Mm.
in Eastern Europe was actually going to perform a head transplant. They had done it on monkeys successfully, somewhat successfully, and they were actually going to do it on a human. Um, and they were talking about some of the repercussions and why a lot of other doctors found that to be ethically and morally wrong to even attempt. And one of the arguments was, if you chop someone's head off and you're able to keep them alive, but they can't speak, they can't do anything, and then you reattach, you have no idea, because there's no way for them to tell you whether they're in the most excruciating pain they've ever been in their entire life, or if everything is going well. You have no way to know. So why would you take that risk if you have no way to know? We don't know enough about the brain to be able to either
Mm.
tap into to find out, or to dull some of those things that we know would happen. We know very little.
Sure.
Out of every part of our body, we know the least about our brain. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
it's an interesting
Absolutely.
take on that.
It
Now
is,
I'm no
and I
longer for
think
head
the
transplants.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you meant just a forehead transplant.
Oh, yes, that too,
That
John.
would be
Yes.
fine. Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, I and that's the difficulty when you treat pets, for example. If you take them to the vet, they can't
Hmm.
tell you. They can't tell
Right.
you what hurts. They can't tell you. Um,
Well,
uh,
yes and
uh,
no. I mean, they can scream.
for sure, but they can't say where does it hurt, or
Right.
they don't they can't really direct the doctors, which makes it
Right.
kind of much more of a trial and error thing. But
Right.
you were talking about YouTube, and I have a favorite channel that is called Dr. Brent Binder, or Binder,
Okay.
Binder, and the channel is Chiropractic Medicine.
Oh, geez.
And
Yeah. We were
it's
talking about
very
this
cool,
earlier
but
too.
well, yes, and I want to, because you have something to talk about with that as well. But the thing I love about this guy, he's very quirky, um, but he's really good. He's into chakra and stuff like that. That he's,
Hmm.
is not necessarily in my wheelhouse,
Wheelhouse.
but
Right.
he has 539 followers or subscribers to his
And
YouTube
you're one of
channel.
them, huh?
539,000. I am.
Oh, 1,000. I
But
thought you said 539.
I may have, sorry, 539,000, which amazes me for a chiropractor because,
Yeah.
but I think it's two things. It's his technique is very soothing. You get a lot of people, ASMR people,
Hmm.
who will log in to watch. Oh, the cracks, because he does heavy microphone
Yeah.
production right as he's doing the cracking and everything. And the other part is there, and he's in Pennsylvania. He
Okay.
gets an inordinate amount of relatively attractive women who are heavily made up with fake eyelashes
Yeah.
and yoga pants.
Yep.
And so I think that's part of it. But the
Yeah.
guy is so professional. It's not, I mean, it's not a sexual thing or anything. You may,
Sure.
uh, the, I was at Hooters one time with a friend. He picked up a T-shirt for his son's birthday. Long story, at Hooters, and the Hooters waitress asks if he wants her to sign the T-shirt to his son, who is 19 or whatever. And he said that would be great, and she does. And what she writes on the T-shirt is, "You came in for our breasts, but you'll be back for our wings," or something like that. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's
But
funny.
it's kind of like that for watching this channel. You may have been drawn to it because you go, "Oh, wow, hot girl in yoga pants." The guy
Well,
is so technically good.
yeah,
And I know you went to the chiropractor recently. Did you wear yoga pants?
I did, absolutely. They make men's
Knew
yoga
it.
pants now. Now, but before we
Didn't want to
before we
know
talk
that.
about my before we talk about my visit, that's actually an unspoken Google algorithm that does that. So, well, and it's not really an algorithm. It's tapping into the human brain, which if you show someone who's very attractive in the thumbnail, which is why John and I are always in our thumbnails, shirtless on the
Always.
back of horses. Um, yeah, exactly. that you will get more views and more likes and more subscribers if you have that. And so algorithm is the wrong way to say it. There's no actual algorithm that says that's what you have, but Google knows well enough and encourages you to do that and rewards you for doing that by getting more people to look, because they'll know that this is going to get a lot more views just because of the thumbnail. And you don't even have to
So
show that
true.
image in the video as long as it's on the thumbnail. And
That's
that's
exactly
that's
right.
just that's just it's marketing 101,
Which
folks.
to me is crap. I
It is
hate
crap.
that
I do
that
too, because I'd
if you
like to see
show
it
a
in the video.
thumbnail exactly. So here's one I've looked at recently. This is gonna show my eclectic taste. In the, Mike Tyson videos, it
Uh-huh.
shows do you know who Butterbean is?
Yes.
Also a boxer, like
Uh-huh.
Tyson, also
Yeah.
heavyweight. I They never fought. They never went up against one another.
Really?
Yet there are no fewer than, I would guess, 25 videos that have thumbnails with both of them in. And they're both
Interesting.
lovable characters because they were, whoa, Power Butterbean was this massive 400 some
Mhm.
pound dude that, I mean, looked like he would never win a fight. And he kicked some people's butts who were, these bodybuilder Adonis sort of guy, and he
Yeah.
would spank them and they would boom just like that. Anyway, you see all these thumbnails and you expect when you click on it, did they actually fight? Oh, I can't. No, never
Yeah.
fought. So it's a lying thumbnail, which to me is, yeah, it's a little bit of false advertising.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of crappy. But I'm hoping that our thumbnails, because they're so impressive, that that's what's getting us all the views that we're getting, all three of them.
I can't wait to
Um,
see the ones with us on horseback. Will you give me do you get the long hair, or can we both have long
no, I
flowing
need the
hair?
long hair. No,
Damn it.
you've got a head of hair.
Well, yeah, it's massively long.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
and thick.
The things that I will not be doing in the near future.
Yes, yes, thank
Anyway,
you. So
so
talk about your visit.
I did go. So I have not been to the chiropractor, and we've talked about doctors versus chiropractors and things in the past, but I have not been to the chiropractor for several years. It's been since before COVID. Not because of COVID, just because it's one of those things that's just not on my radar necessarily. But the last few months, yes, folks, it takes me a while to, when things are wrong, to actually go see someone. My wife complains about it all the time. Everyone complains about it. It's a timing thing. It's not because I don't want to. I trust these people implicitly. It's not that. It's just fitting it into my very busy YouTube watching schedule is very difficult. Anywho, um, I finally went. I used my insurance this time to look because that's the last person I went to. Great. My wife still goes to him. Insurance doesn't cover it. So I want to see, what what's out there. And I found one, and which is ironic that he's right next to the other one, in a different building. Um, but he was it was fantastic. I went in there for a consult. First of all, I called and said, "Hey, what's your earliest available?" And they got me in that day. And not
Oh,
because they're not
wow.
busy, because I saw their schedule. They just had someone cancel. And a lot of people will look past that going, "Oh man, they canceled because it was a 5 o'clock appointment. They close at 6. I was the last one." Most people would say, "Ah, we'll, get out early today." No, they got me in, and it was for a consult, so it's a longer visit than normal. And he said, "What's the problem? What have you experienced?" I mean, he walked me through it, which was the most um, detailed any chiropractor has ever been with me, which I appreciate because I'm a very detail oriented person and I
Yes.
like everything to be out on the
Yep.
table. And then he explained to me what he thought it was, and he said, "Here's what we're going to do. You'll go into this room and get a massage first." Which I've never been to a chiropractor that actually had a masseuse. I've always thought it would be a good idea to do that. Never went to one that actually had that. I've heard of the
Mhm.
other ones doing it as well. So first I had a massage, which was fantastic. This dude starts working on my back, massaging, and he's like, "You know what? Flip over." I'm like, "I've never had a front massage." Yeah, not yeah. Anyway, so he flipped me over. No, it's crazy though. He went onto my pectoral muscle, right between my shoulder and my pectoral muscle, and then he found a knot and just went so much pain, but so much release in my back. Like my whole back just went. It's just
Hmm.
crazy. And now I know muscles are connected and that different muscles do different things, but I have never ever experienced just boom right here and then the whole back just kind of going, whoa.
Hmm.
It was crazy. So
Wow.
anyway, that was about a 10-15 minute massage, which is fine. Then I went back and got everything released. My favorite thing is where you get the bear hug and they crack your upper back because that's where all my pain is in my upper back and my neck. And it was one of those things where I almost fell asleep on the table because I felt so relaxed.
Wow.
It was finally he got get rid of all of that issues that I've been dealing with for the last couple of months where I haven't been sleeping well, tough to breathe, not hard to breathe, not short of breath, but you can feel it when you're breathing. It just makes it a little bit tough. Like you're having issues right now breathing. It's why you keep muting and coughing off to the side. Yeah.
Just clearing my
Um,
throat.
I know.
It's a courtesy to our listeners.
You- I appreciate that, and so do they. But then again, they are listening to me talk. So what's worse, you clearing your throat or me talking?
Wow. Oh, can I have some time to think about that?
Yeah. Let me finish my
Hey,
story and
and real
let
yeah,
me.
I will, but I have to interject because you know I do.
Uh-huh.
When you said, "I like to have everything out on the table," this wasn't a naked chiropractor, was it?
No, no, unfortunately.
Okay, good, because
Um,
I would prefer you
Wait
didn't
a
have
second. Him
everything out on
naked
the
or me
table. I'm
naked?
just saying.
Uh,
Okay, either one. Thanks
yeah.
very much. Continue.
No, it was a fantastic experience. I still have, obviously it's not something that you don't go and get one adjustment and you're fixed, or one massage and you're fixed. I mean, there's still work to do, but I feel so much better. I can actually fill my lungs. The best thing though was, so I have an app on my phone that monitors my sleep. I think a lot of people probably in this day and age has. But it sits next to my bed and monitors my sleep, and I can sleep for, if I sleep for 9 hours, even if I'm up and doing this, if that's usually the only time it'll give me 100% sleep score that I've
Hmm.
slept well. But normally I sleep anywhere between 6.5, 7 hours a night. That's about my normal sleep. Um, and I usually get about a 75 to 80%. Sometimes I'll get up into 86% score for sleep score, which quite honestly isn't horrible, but you're always
Mhm.
shooting for 100. I always want to be the top. So last night I slept for 7 hours and 20 minutes and I got a sleep score of 100. So obviously I was
Woo!
much more comfortable sleeping.
Yeah.
I still have some pain in my neck and in my shoulders, but nowhere near what I've been suffering through for the last few months. So it was a fantastic
Awesome.
visit. And if you're having pain, guys, I am a firm believer in Western medicine, into
Mm,
real
mm.
physicians. I think there's a time and place for everybody. But one of the best things my real physician ever said to me is, you need to go see a chiropractor. When they work
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
and in tandem, just like
Yeah.
everything else in this world,
Mhm.
doctors will fix you. Chiropractors and masseuses and all of those other, what we would consider not mainstream medical, those will keep you
Mhm.
healthy. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I
These
think
guys keep you
that's
healthy.
more of a
Doctors
yeah,
fix you.
main
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My mother has gone for years and to her great benefit, although, some years I'm not sure it was as helpful as others, but, when you watch seriously, this Brent Binder guy, Binder, search him on YouTube, it's worth it. He's, a unique guy, he always wears the same clothes, which is a little odd, it's not a
Yeah.
uniform, it's a light blue shirt with suspenders and
Nice.
watch, cufflinks, little watch face
Nice.
cufflinks, and
Yeah.
he always wears the same stuff. Anyway, but it's worth it to watch him. Somebody who knows what they're doing. There's another guy from Houston. If you can
Tubio.
stand to listen to him talk, hey, come down to Houston and we'll give you the ring dinger. And they put him
Oh,
on a
not Tubio.
no, it's a
There's another
different
guy with
guy.
the last name Tubio who's in Houston,
Okay,
but
well, this
he's a
guy
little,
is yeah, probably Houston chiropractor in the YouTube search would probably get it
yeah.
for you. But anyway, he's a older man, probably mid 60s or so, and but just terrific and enthusiastic and totally different from Binder. They're
Really?
totally different, but they
Do
follow
either
each
of
other.
them?
And
Oh, do they
yeah,
really? That's
oh,
funny. Do
they've
I
done video both of them together.
Oh, have they? That's kinda cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, have you seen do either of them use the contraption where it's like straps and you put one under your chin and one behind your head and they yank and they pull pull and elongate the spine?
That's what he calls the ring dinger, and it's a table,
Okay.
and the table has 2, like, posts that
Mhm.
prevent your hips from going through, and, because they're narrow enough, and then uh, they do, like, a pull, so it's a traction sort of a thing first,
Mhm.
and then I've seen Binder do it 100 times. He wraps a towel around the jaw and yanks, and it does and you see
Yeah.
people who are out, they are just like shocked by it. Everything cracks. Some people have a hard time getting their breath because they're just so, what was that?
Yeah.
And have you never watched the channel for Pete's sake before you come in and have this guy adjust you?
So
What the
the
heck?
Tubio dude
So,
does it's a big black strap and does the same thing. And so when I was
yep.
talking to this doctor after he went through and told me what we were going to do, every single adjustment he made, he explained what he saw on my back and why he was doing it and what it was going to feel like. I've never
Yeah.
had a doctor do that. The other doctor that I do like, he would use the medical terms, which I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
know what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
Um,
Right.
this guy, he broke it down into and did it in layman terms, and he
Cool.
actually asked me before he did any of the adjustments, what are some things are there any adjustments? Because he knew that I'd gone to other chiropractors before. Are there any adjustments that
Mhm.
you just absolutely do not want me to do? And I said, have you ever watched this guy named Tubio? And he's like, no. And I said, well, he's got this strap thing. And I kind of explained it to him. He said, I've seen that done before. I
Mhm.
actually had it done twice in school, and we don't do that here, and we never will. He said,
Okay.
with that, the traction part is really, really good. And
Sure.
he talked about the towel thing too. He said the traction part's really, really good because you
Yep.
want that slow stretch, but
Sure.
that really long snap pop is not good for you.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what again, I think there's so much opinion that's out there,
yes.
and these
I don't have
guys
any
are 2 of
opinions.
the high oh, jeez. These guys are 2 of the most famous chiropractors, I mean, millions of views on YouTube, and
Okay,
so,
but
but
famous doesn't
their
mean good.
patience. No, 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 it doesn't, but you're gonna attract people if you're good, and
Yeah.
everybody I've seen Binder, for example, do that ring dinger, which he learned from the other Houston guy, by the
Mhm.
way, they are just like, "Oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever."
Yeah.
And so I whatever, I guess it's to each his own, but I don't like the neck cracking. That always I because it's like
It's
my chiropractor I used to go to takes you
mhm.
by surprise, and he's kinda, "Oh, yeah, just loosey loo" whack, and I'm like, "Ah, what the
Yeah, see,
hell?"
that's
Because
that's how
oh,
it always was
man.
with me. This guy, he's like,
Yep.
"Okay, I'm doing this. I'm gonna press here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn. All right, here it comes. Crack." It
Yes.
hurts like
Yeah,
the
and
because
Binder
again,
does the
I
same thing. Yeah,
does he? Okay, I love that. I love let me know when it's
yeah.
coming, and I'll expect it. And I mean, yeah, maybe I'll tense
Watch
up, but
watch his videos because his is all about breathing too,
mhm,
which most of the others don't do. And he's deep breath in, deep breath out. He's got a great voice for it,
yeah,
and it's just kind of relaxing to listen to it. And I could see that when he does that, but he's twisting the neck and breath and then relaxing and then geek.
yeah,
So at least it'll be better, knowing it's coming. But yeah, I'm
yeah.
I'm with you.
I
I
just
think
I really
that's good.
appreciated it the way he did it, and
Yeah,
having not done it for almost 3 years, 2 years, whatever,
right.
however long it's been. He knew it was gonna hurt. I knew it was gonna hurt, and it hurt like a mother. But I felt so good. I could actually turn my head. Like I couldn't turn my
That's
head this far yesterday. It's
that's awesome.
fantastic. Yeah. It
That's
still
really good.
hurts,
One
but it's
last
much
thing.
better. Yeah.
One last thing before we go. I wanna touch on the massage thing you talked
Yeah.
about. So I like that idea, first of all. I'm sure it's, relaxing before you go in, and a lot of these chiropractors, you mix in a little of both, those that I've
Yep.
seen,
Yep.
the thumb and the, here and underneath the arm and, wherever there's nodding. But as soon as you said he,
Yeah,
the masseuse, he, I'm going, because I've had one massage by a dude,
really.
and we were vacationing in Florida, and this guy has never heard of lotion. He had like sandpaper hands. It's like
Oh, really?
seriously 90 grit or 80 grit sandpaper hands. And I'm just like, okay, I just don't like it's not a phobia thing. It's just I, I'm not I don't relax as well when it's a dude doing it. And so anyway, I found in our old hometown a young lady who is Russian,
Mhm.
so strong like bull, and
So many
she
jokes come to mind.
well, I know for sure, but she was really good and very
Yeah,
strong, and she could, I mean, as much as you wanted,
yeah.
effort-wise, she could do it all. And so I just relax a lot more with that rather than sandpaper hands.
So
Did
what
my
was nice
last
about
one.
this is it wasn't a traditional massage. It was just massaging certain parts that he knew the chiropractor was going to be working on because they communicated with each other.
Got it, got
I
it.
was a little nervous
There was no
because the one
happy
thing I
ending.
right, yeah, there's because it was all up high. There was a happy ending, but it had nothing to do with any of that. Because I was happy when I left.
Too easy, too
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. Anyway, I didn't have to take my clothes off. I didn't have to take my shirt off. It was all above the clothes. I prefer that.
Okay,
I don't
if
want
it's a
this.
dude, yes.
Well, anybody. I don't care. Anybody. I don't care about lotion. I don't just do it. Just get the muscles that hurt. I don't need the spa treatment. My wife loves the spa treatment. She wants
I
to
do
go there.
too. I'm with
I'm
Jen.
not it. Nope. I just need it.
Yeah,
I need the muscles to relax so I can go back to work.
got it.
Because work, honestly, I hate to say it, work is relaxing to me.
I
I
understand.
love work.
Is
The
vacation
spa thing
relaxing
is
to you sometimes?
no, no.
Why?
Vacation is not relaxing to me.
It takes
The only
me it
thing that I like are the same things that people really don't like. I like going to the restaurants. I like going to the bar.
yeah,
Not that people don't like doing that, but that is
yeah.
vacation is about finding new restaurants and new bars. The
It
rest of it,
used to
or
take me
museums, or
oh gosh, okay, and that is you, and I know that. It used to take me 3 days of lying by the pool, drinking umbrella drinks to actually wind down from work, and, so if it wasn't a week-long or more vacation, it did me no good
yeah.
whatsoever.
My
Absolutely not.
favorite my favorite vacation, and this is funny after I said I like to go to different places. My favorite vacation where I relax is when I can stay at home for a week or 2 weeks and do projects around the house. That is relaxing to me.
Okay.
Notice I said projects around the house. So I'm
Mhm,
in the garage cleaning the garage. I'm fixing something in the garage. I'm putting shelves up. I'm painting
mhm.
walls. I'm doing stuff like that. That to
Yeah.
me is relaxing.
You know what? I think you'd be surprised how much I don't agree with you.
I am not surprised because I am in definitely in the minority when it comes to things like that.
I love lying by the pool, just relaxing, kicking
Nope.
back, and I can do that for hours
You know
on
what
end,
my
which
favorite part of
makes
being
me
at the
fat.
pool is? I would rather be behind the bar serving drinks at the pool.
I I will go to your vacation paradise if you will do that. That would be great. I'm visiting your house.
Done.
Maybe I'll come to your house for my next vacation.
Works for me.
I'm not putting up any shelves, but if you set up my pool chair, that will be great.
But the problem is there's no pool here.
Damn it. Well, that's all right. Just make me drinks and we'll be fine. We'll
Okay.
call it even.
Done. Done. No,
Speaking of
I even
done,
got complaints over the weekend. We went hiking and I got my wife actually said, "I don't hike like you. I come out here to enjoy the quiet and the nature. You just want to keep going. It's exercise for you." I'm like, "Yeah, it's exercise. Let's get going. I want to work up I don't want to work up a sweat because I hate sweating, but I want to get my heart pumping." Yeah,
wow.
so if that gives
Did
you
you say
any
it like
idea of
that?
my
My
personality.
heart
I did.
pumping
I
like a
did.
Minnesotan dropping the G's.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to
I
get my
did.
heart pumping.
I
Yeah,
want to
hey
get my
there.
heart pumping. Come on, let's do this. Put your
Love you,
coat in the
Minnesota.
bag and let's go.
You're caught. That's a good way for us to finish. Well done, sir.
Hey, I do what I can. Have a great week, everybody. Head up to wah.poddymouths.com for more.
Because, well, we'd love to see you.